At the top of the show that one of the people who's been working with Elon Musk, the president's top campaign donor, as they've been going around sort of ripping out the guts of every government agency they can get into, is somebody who has been linked to hacking and other cyber criminal enterprises online. It's interesting, though, why he lost one of his most recent jobs before he got this one with the U.S. government. This is the email that reportedly went around when he got fired from that job. He was working as an intern at a cybersecurity firm, this according to Bloomberg News. Quote, Edward has been terminated for leaking internal information to the competitors. This is unacceptable and there is zero tolerance for this. After Edward, the intern, was fired, he reportedly posted online that even after the company had fired him for leaking company information to a competitor, Edward had managed to get himself access to, quote, every single machine at that cybersecurity firm that had fired him. He bragged that he could have wiped all the company's customer support servers if he had wanted to. Edward, that fired intern, is now older and wiser. He's now 19 years old. And he now works for the president's top campaign donor. And in that capacity, 19-year-old Edward is now a, quote, senior advisor at the U.S. State Department, where he now has been given access to all of the IT and data management functions for the country's entire diplomatic operation in every country on Earth. One current U.S. official telling the Washington Post, quote, this is dangerous. And hey, I'm no expert, but it doesn't sound good. Kind of does sound like a national security concern to have a 19-year-old who already in his young life has a history of leaking sensitive information, and then to give that 19-year-old access to all centralized data at the U.S. State Department. I don't know, it just seems off. It really is just the latest in a string of national security news coming out of this White House that could really curl your hair. Elon Musk's JV team also has access to the payment system at the Treasury Department that not only controls all things the U.S. government pays for, those things include, for example, details of secret payments made to foreign assets run by U.S. intelligence, payments to U.S. businesses abroad who have secret contracts with our intelligence services like the CIA. Speaking of the CIA, their entire workforce has been told to resign. They've all been sent that resign or else email. Then there's Trump's pick to lead the FBI. Kash Patel, who we just learned on Friday, was paid $25,000 for his participation in an anti-FBI film made by a Russian-American filmmaker who makes propaganda for the Kremlin. And then, of course, there's Trump's pick for Director of National Intelligence.
Your third meeting in Syria after meeting with Assad and then his wife was with Grand Mufti Ahmad Badreddin Hassoun. Were you aware of his threats regarding suicide bombers in the United States?
I was not and had not heard that until today. Were you aware of his threats involving suicide bombers in the United States? Nope, never heard of that before. You just said it, wow. That's Trump's pick to be Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard speaking at her confirmation hearing, saying she had no idea that that guy she met with in Syria had threatened to unleash a network of suicide bombers in the United States. Just learned that today. No idea. Totally thought we were talking about Tupperware. Had no idea that's what that guy would. The Washington Post soon reported on documents showing that Tulsi Gabbard actually did know about that guy's threat about suicide bombers in the United States more than 8 years ago. She learned about it at the latest as soon as she returned from that trip. And, you know, not for nothing, but that guy's still around. Imagine what it would mean to have the guy with the network of U.S.-based suicide bombers on hand, who's also got connections to the Director of National Intelligence. The Director of National Intelligence, who has not apparently been totally forthcoming about their relationship, including in her confirmation hearing under oath. Like I said, a lot of national security alarm bells ringing right now. Even so, Gabbard's nomination to be Director of National Intelligence appears to be barreling forward. The Senate voting tonight to tee up her final confirmation vote as early as tomorrow night. Senator Adam Schiff joins us on that next.